Organisation or some kind of... We have to do it ourselves. So we started CAMINA, which is really just a group of people from all over Scotland, or living in all over Scotland and some even further afield, that have come together, and those group of people basically share a common interest or an involvement in some shape or form in work which is educational. It might not directly be education, but in some way it involves learning, and learning using a certain approach that is questioning, that is critical, that has a shared aim of social change or social justice. And really CAMINA exists as a kind of collective to support each other, to have regular dialogue and learning opportunities within CAMINA to support that kind of work, but also to try and create more instances of that kind of work. So we have done a number of events and workshops in different places, some of those with other educators or practitioners, but some of those with actually communities themselves.
What CAMINA is trying to do at the moment is very much focused on bringing people together to have conversations, to share experiences, challenges, and to start supporting each other in doing that work.
And thereby having more collective clout, I guess. So there's a bit of, in a way, almost movement building involved. Well, for obvious reasons, it's not something that you're going to get kind of political government backing for example. The formal education system is very well and acutely designed to reproduce and perpetuate our economic and social system. Anything that subverts that, anything that tries to create a different idea even of what education is obviously not convenient. There's a lot of people involved or doing what is effectively critical education work, but they've never come across the term, or they've never come across like the theorists or anything like that, which is fine. But what we want to do is actually try and harness that, because and trying to kind of support that work, I guess. In my experience, or what's led me, I guess, to do a lot of the work I'm doing now is working in government, as I mentioned before, with really diverse people. So not just obviously people from all over the world who are seeking asylum or who are refugees in this country, but also people from very different walks of life and with very different life experiences who are Scottish or British, living in Govan, and every day there would be conversations, sometimes really mundane, normal chat, banter, and then other days really harrowing, heavy stuff, and it really kind of drilled in this idea that we're not talking enough, and that actually a lot of what we're calling critical education is conversation. It's conversation, it's asking questions of each other, it's listening to each other, it's talking about everyday things and talking about really deep and sort of philosophical things, and
linking those together.
And linking those together and realising that it doesn't matter where you're from. These are common themes to all of us as human beings.
So one of the things I worked on at the Govan Community Project, or GCIN, was this participatory action research project. And I think what I found really special about that organisation was just how much space was given to exploration and relationships. I know I keep going on about that, but it's very rare actually in community work or education settings or lots of different things, workspaces. It's very rare that you just get the space to really spend time on relationships, on conversations. And so the participatory action research was kind of an opportunity to do that, where basically a number of people got together got to know each other and decided what were their big questions about the community and their experience, and what did they want to go out and chat to more people about.
The people, men and women that were involved in that group, were just going out, they were interviewing people, they were doing translations, they were then actually creating massive spreadsheets, they were analysing data, and okay, there was some guidance, but most of that they just learned off the cuff, and they were perfectly capable of doing it. You know, this like high level research. And it didn't stop there. There was a real energy to continue and then actually to try and turn these things into actions, or turn, you know, what they'd experienced and also what they'd learned through doing the research about themselves and also about the issues that they chose to research, to actually turn that into something.
Yeah, that was, for me, it was very educational. I learned a huge amount. I think that lots of people in the group also did. And yeah, it was just really exciting to see a space where a group of people who hadn't known each other before that, but really, and hadn't known the community very long. A lot of the people involved in that were quite new to Govan, but really, really took ownership of the project, of each other, and of making change in that organisation.
So the group then continued. They made an animation with Plantation Productions around the realities of hate crime and what they could do to tackle hate crime. There was a series of, I think what was most impressive as well was a series of short films called Welcome to Govan in 6 different languages, I think. There was presentations and workshops that individuals in that group led with statutory agencies, or that were presented to like local councillors and MPs around their findings. I mean, and it's still continuing. You know, we're talking 3-4 years ago, and it's still going.
Yeah. Powerful. So I was kind of involved at the very beginning of that project, and with the first group we worked with. So we spent a lot of time at the beginning getting to know each other, and really trying to make sure that it was very clear that it wasn't my job as the worker to decide the questions, to decide the themes, to decide what we were doing. That was for the group to do, and there was a point at which the group really resisted that, and you know, they said, "Where's the PowerPoint? Where's the PowerPoints? You know, why are you not just teaching us what to do? Why are you not telling us?" And I pushed back, but I think it really worked in the end, and there was that really powerful sense of ownership that I haven't seen many other places, and I think it does happen, but I think it takes a real conviction and that real desire, as you were saying about Alan, that real desire to do that and to take it on. And so I think that comes back to that point about education is we all have most of us have experiences of formal education where we're told what we need to know, and then we're supposed to take that forward, and to disrupt that is a powerful thing and a really challenging thing, but I am a really strong believer, and that project gave me a really strong sense of the power of that. Where that comes back to CAMINA is that it does have real power, but the structures and the resources available to do that kind of work and to build those spaces and those opportunities is very, very limited. And it's made even harder by the fact that we have very little time to reflect on the work we're doing. We have very little time to connect with other people doing it, so share ideas, find out how we can do this work better, and to make sure that communities know about these possibilities and these opportunities. And I think that's really where the seed for CAMINA came, wasn't it? Was that realisation that to multiply this work, to increase the opportunities for that, we need to start pushing back on the structures that limit that.
And I guess that, you know, not just wait around for some kind of organisation or some kind of...
For the big lottery to start getting it.
No, then we have to do it ourselves. We have to create this ourselves. We have to create this platform or collective or organisation, whatever exact shape it might take.
So how people can engage with it, we are very aware that there will be people that want to give lots of time and energy to it, like we do, and there will be people who are really interested or keen to connect but have very limited time or capacity. So we've tried to create various different ways. There is the possibility to get involved in the kind of nuts and bolts and join the CAMINA core, and we try, and because we're a network across Scotland, we try and make sure that people can be involved from wherever they live. There's also ways to be involved in, so we kind of call everybody involved in our network Caminantes, and they can be involved through joining our online discussions or coming along to events, but also maybe if they've got a project idea that they want to take forward or just have a conversation. We're trying to get the kind of formalise the idea of critical friends, so creating kind of one-to-one and collective relationships which can support. The best way to kind of find out more is either to go to the website or join us on Facebook, and we can share more details about that. But yeah. I
guess really important to emphasise as well that CAMINA is one of the values we hold very strong is that we don't want to dictate what it is too much. We want people who have that shared interest and those shared values to take part in actually deciding what it is, what's most needed. So if you have an idea, something that you want to take forward and you just need a bit of support or you need to bounce that off someone, that's what it exists for as well. So don't feel that we're going to tell you what we want you to do. We're really, really hopeful that people come to CAMINA as well with ideas of things that need to be done and look and see how we can do those things together.
Okay.